Greetings, I would like to show you one interesting game which I recently played. My opponent played Scottish Gambit, which always very complicated for both sides and many threats I expected in that gambit. So let's start. So white play e4, I played e5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, pawn takes d4, bishop c4, and I played bishop c5. So now the opponent played c3, so he offers the second pawn, but I refused because if I take the pawn, he will attack my king immediately, sacrifice the bishop for the attack, and now if I move to e8, so queen h5, and still the king needs to move to f8. So after the check, queen can move to e3 or queen can move to c4 with further attack, and in both cases white has advantage. Therefore I didn't play that way. I played knight f6, and usually you have a choice, but white can take the pawn. In that case it will be check, check, protect. So knight take e4, bishop can take, or knight take. So this position like an Italian opening or similar. Yeah, in this case it will be check, take, and king, queen, win. Okay, return the material. So again, position is almost equal. Then another possibility, it can be knight d4. So, and in this case again, knight take e2, and position similar to the positions in the Italian openings. However, my opponent played e5, and I immediately played d5, so which is a book move, and the opponent has again a choice, bishop b5, or maybe bishop b3, or maybe bishop e2, which end up in very complicated games. However, my opponent chose to take my knight, and then I have to take his bishop, otherwise I would not have compensation. And my position in this case should be good, because the opponent chose the worst variation in this case. So he took the pawn. He can take the pawn, another pawn. So he can take pawn d4, and in this case everything will be actually similar. So I take, he takes, I take, he takes the pawn, rook g8, knight a3, because otherwise I force the king, and I take the bishop, the pawn, and bishop e3. So I can play c5, I can play knight c3, or I can play knight f5, and in all cases my position is supposed to be better. However, the opponent didn't choose this variation. He chose to take the pawn, and it could be a similar variation after that. He still can take the pawn, but maybe better way. Yeah, he can play that way. Maybe better way would be even to play castle. Then I play d3, rook check, and then I play bishop e6 or bishop e7. In any case, it was better than the opponent did, because he forgot about the king and forgot to castle. He preferred to think about pawn g7, and basically there's immediate punishment. Queen f6, now queen c1, then it will be check, king needs to move, then it will be bishop f5 with a better position for black, because it will be further check with the bishop on d3, and possible castle. So queen g5, check, king moves. Then maybe here I think it could be possibility to castle, or can take the queen as well and take the pawn. And in any case, black has essential advantage here in this position, even though position is material is equal, because the king is in strange position, so the rook on h1 doesn't okay, in this case that is not developed at all, and another white rook is not developed, so black has very good position. However, I played differently. I decided to check him, so the engine thinks this is a great move, but in fact it's not the best move in this position. And then queen should protect, so white cannot castle after that, bishop still f5, and now you can play it differently, maybe this way, and then I castle, then knight take, king moves, and now black has a chance to win to attack the bishop and actually return the pawn this way. So the engine suggests this variation, but it's not, I'm sure it's not only one variation, which is good right now, because okay, after this variation actually black has essential advantage, even though number, okay, pawns are equal, okay, just one pawn advantage, but black has a chance to take another pawn and capture all pawns. Okay, after the check, white needs to move to the center already, and then after another check, move, check, move, check, move back, another check. So black can start capturing all the pawns on the second line. So now we return to the position which we stopped. As you see, even this move, queen e2, doesn't save white. But what white opponent did is king d2, and then it was a mistake. So a very big mistake. Actually, I overlooked the fact that after taking the pawn, I can directly win the bishop like this and win the game. So I continue playing. So I played queen f6, attacking the bishop. He played bishop g5. I take the pawn. And right now, white king needs to run away, continue running, but he checked me. I protect with the bishop, and instead of running, he just took the pawn, which was a big mistake. So simple way was to take the bishop this way. So black wins the bishop. I choose another way. I choose to take with the bishop, so I attack the pawn, and if he takes, so it will be basically the same idea. Check, queen protects, check again, and then after, no, if he moved to e6, I would even take the pawn, and another, so he needs to protect the, his rook, but right now position of white is becoming very bad after the check. So black has essential advantage. Position of white is super bad. So he betted to protect, and then I win the bishop. This was my idea, and this white took it with a bishop. So right now he plays knight c3, and then if I take the knight, take, I would basically take, castle, he moves, and I take. So in any case, I would win. I wouldn't win anything, but my so black has advantage here. 2, 4, 6, 1 pawn, and two pieces for the rook. But I think if I attack with the, I cannot attack with the king. So I didn't do it. I just exchanged the bishop. And in this case, he needs to take, so I take, and in this position, black actually surrendered, but he has no much choices. So the only protection, he cannot protect the pawn g3 because of the castle with the, and white lose the queen. But instead, if he moved to e2, so I would attack the queen, move to c2, so take, and he need to exchange, so check. If he takes with a knight, it will be checkmate, so he needs to sacrifice the rook. I take with the rook. He can take my pawn, and in this case, black king move to f7, f8, and I'm not afraid of this, that he takes my rook, because still it will be a checkmate. So then white has a resource on knight e4 probably. Yeah, which one is? Yeah, it can be queen h5 or knight e4, but in this case I take, and then check, and then it will be c3. And right now black cannot, or white cannot take the rook, because it will be immediate check in this case, checkmate in this case, or yeah, after taking the, so if white moves here, so white would get a checkmate, f5, and if rook moves, so take, so the only chance of 3, take, and white even lose the queen like this. So I can take, just simply I can take the, instead of I can take the rook in some cases. In any case, it will be a checkmate very soon. So the only, I mean, maybe the way, the good way could be queen e4, but then I take the knight and win the game anyway, or it can be bishop or rook d1, but in that case it will be a series of checks, then check again, protect. I can take and maybe win the knight and win the game in any case. I like the Scottish or Scottish Gambit, because every move can cost you a game. So every move put some pressure on the opponent on both sides. And like in this game, Black King is vulnerable all the time. It was difficult to find an opportunity, a chance to castle. And the same for White. White didn't manage to castle in time, then it's not possible. Just one move to castle, and after that, White couldn't find such an opportunity anymore, and White actually lose because of that. So this game is like a balance around the middle, but this is sharp balance, different from most games. Here is a sharp balance. One mistake and you lose the entire position. Thank you very much for watching this game. See you. Bye bye. See you next time.